Coming here for some training, or are you ready for your next orders? You've been doing fairly well so far. Our next move is more difficult. Let me explain. While Alvo has been hard at work improving our guild's relationship with the local Dark Elves, your orders to clear the Shrine of Hindsight were just a small step in this process. Now we're starting to see the results, and are getting contracts we would not have dared dream of a few years ago. But there is a downside to this. We are now also starting to get contracts that we would be much better off without. We have been asked to capture 2 slaves who have absconded from the Agamora egg mines. None other than Vavli Sanem, wife to one of the most powerful nobles in town, wants us to capture 2 slaves, Hilkur and Ligera, who have fled the Aravals and egg mines. Capture and return, mind you. I don't know what the Sanems have in store for them back in the mines, but I fear it won't be anything good, and I am none the happier that it's all within the law. Our guild is an imperial institution, and our responsibilities are not merely towards our clients. There is no simple answer, Ada. Ask Lalalvo and she'd tell you that the very question is misguided and every step athwart your orders will bring destruction upon our guild and you. Well, I am not convinced. If you chance upon 2 lost wanderers, maybe you can guide them on a way out of this town? Discreetly, and without declaring your part in all of this to anyone who doesn't need to know. Try to learn about the location of the slaves from the other slaves in the mine, or from other miners around. In no case ask any guards, any Aravals, or Sanems, or Narsalazuls, the mine overseer. We sacrifice our reward, but we preserve our integrity, and there will be no proof of our disloyalty unless you are careless enough to provide one yourself. After all, who is to say Hilkur and Ligera are not already in Argonia? How you handle this is up to you. But you will have to decide, and I fear there is no obvious course. I can only hope that you rely on your wisdom and your honor. Good luck. The mines are spread over a vale which lies a short walk to the east of town. Welcome to the cliff city of Akamora, Ada.
Well, I'm sorry, journeyman, but if you are looking for work, I'm afraid I don't have anything for you at this time. You should ask Amiro for orders, though. I'm glad you asked me for a second opinion. Amiro is a foreigner and, despite him being one of the best trainers this guildhouse has seen, there are things better left to a native to explain. Any attempts to help the slaves escape will not spell any good to you, nor to our guild, nor to the standing of outlanders like you in this town. You might be no cat catcher and neither am I, but we are not in a situation to spurn such a contract. Odds are, someone is testing our loyalty here. There are no options here, the contract is crystal clear. I am disappointed that Amiro failed to understand this. It seems that I shouldn't have trusted him with assigning this job. As for you, report to Overseer Narsalazuls in the Aravalsanim egg mines.
Do you have something to say, Outlander?
The traveler seeks answers.
I don't believe I've seen a dark elf with such a grand outfit in some time. Can I help you? I've been staying inside most of the time, and no, I haven't seen them in here. Ask Irvon and Ethany. She works deeper in the mine, but she might have been outside back when they were making their escape.
I don't think we've been introduced, Outlander. I'm Irvon and Ethany. How can I help you? Indeed, an Argonian and Acaciate slaves probably have been running past this mine some time ago. They were running westwards, towards the hut on top of the hill. It's a dead end, so I didn't assume they were trying to escape. Not that I'd have in the mines. They aren't worth goor spit compared to a hard-working Dunmer.
Ligera stares at you without saying a word. She looks emaciated and worn out.
Ligera is exhausted. What do you want of her? Why are you here?
Speak freely.
Yes. That's us. And you are an outlander and yet you are seeking us out. Are you here to help us escape? Thank you, Dark Elf. I can think of 2 ways. Why don't you take the key to these bracers and drop it somewhere in the mine of the Indoril and Very? And tip off the guard at the crossing? They will be combing the wrong end of the valley. Or you could bring us 2 strong invisibility potions, though the standard ones won't last long enough as Ligera is too frail to run. With 2 quality potions we can get past the patrols. I fear we have nothing to reward you with but our eternal gratitude.
Greetings, friend.
How are you?
It wants something.
Is there something I can do for you?
What are you doing here? What can I do for you?
I enforce both Indoril customs and Imperial law. Move along and mind your manners. 3 guesses why I'm stationed here. Any success in finding them? This is an unexpected turn. I am going to take a closer look at that mine, although I personally would believe that they lost the key somewhere else and others took it there. More culprits to take care of then. Thank you for the lead, Ada.
Is there something I can do for you?
What do you want of us? What are you doing here? What news do you bring, Warrior of Spell? Is the road safe for us? Yes, Warrior of Spell, this does it. Should our paths ever cross again, I will remember this kindness. Before we leave, though, do you know about the twin lamps? We don't know for sure. They are said to be a group of mere natives, of all things who fight for the abolishment of slavery and aid the likes of us. To recognize their kind, they would ask you if you have seen the twin lamps. A kindred spirit answers. They light the way to freedom. The twin lamps are a legend among slaves, but I have never seen one of them, and it might all be a ruse by the Dunmer to identify the least obedient among us. Tread lightly, Dark Elf. We are sorry that we have nothing to reward you with. All the best, Ada, we are heading home. Thank you for everything.
Speak freely.
True introspection of Indoril fidelity. By Arenas Callas. If there is a single kernel of truth which can encompass all one must know of Indoril's illustrious house, it is simply this: ours is the house most fervently dedicated to the preservation of the ideal of the Dunmer. When the children of Velith wandered orphaned in the Ashland wastes, it was the Indoril knights that founded Mournhold and brought the itinerant chimer into civilized houses. When the Nords came from Skiren with axes and storms, it was our warriors under Almalexia that staved off their assaults. When the deep elves wrought a god of blasphemy, it was the army of Sarjo Indoril Narivar Mora that spearheaded the crusade. When the temple called for men at arms, Indoril pledged itself so fully that behind nigh on every ordinator's helm there is the keen face of one of our own. An outlander asks what a Dunmer is, and learned men point to House Indoril. We have not swerved from this path in the slightest. Now, we protect our people with the authority of the tribunal. Blessed Om Shivi, we are the spiritual power of Morrowind. They ordinators in all their orders never fail to hunt out necromancers, destroy creatures of the blight, keep the ghost fence intact, and most importantly of all, protect the right of every Dunmer to worship and receive the blessings of the Holy Tribunal, the gods who walk among us. It was made clear from the instant an imperial sandal touched the grass of our lands. In spite of all that may come, Indoril will see to it that no Dunmer must bow to an alien god, nor surrender his honor to the whims of invaders. When Tiber Septim made himself manifest in Morrowind, the warriors of Indoril sent his armies into oblivion. We slew them like Netch of the Wastes, reaped them like wheat crop. They came to bend us, and in turn our gods bent them. No deity may withstand the tribunal, the gods who walk among us. We had faith, and we had victory. For nigh on a century, Indoril steel spilt imperial blood, their redness ran like wine in the fields of Morrowind, and flowed to the borders of the inner sea. And then Vivek, the warrior poet, master of all things, wrought peace. Even then, the vigil of Indoril did not cease. Wherever an imperial hand deigned to hold back a Dunmer, we were there to stop the heinous deed. Even now we wear our colors into their midst. We let them pray to their divines while we see the very faces of our gods. Let them do as they will, Indoril will not forget what it is to be Dunmer. Indoril will never be anything but the truest of Dunmer. With us stand the Redoran, our brothers in arms, keepers of the Ghost Gate, and warrior kin. With honor the line of Rethirin held the western marches, and still does in Vardenfell. They were Redarin mercenaries that stiffened the militias mustered in defiance of the Emperor. They are never lax in their devotion to the tribunal. Neither will Dris forget the ways of old, nor the hours in which together we repelled the barbarian invaders, felling them by rank and file. They have the blessings of the tribunal, their worship so strong. The temple gifts us life, protects us from harm, and it is Indoril that gifts the temple life, protects it from harm. Cleave always to your heritage and the tribunal will bless you, and Indoril will keep you. Remember the 7 graces, and be right. The Imperials cannot touch he in whom Velith dwells, that is the core of our being. That is the truth of being Dunmer.
I have ordered you to find 2 slaves who have absconded from the Akamora egg mines. Please, let me hope you have not disappointed me, and that you understand what I mean by that. You did the right thing, Ada, and I cannot thank you enough for that. I am glad that my trust in you was justified, and while I cannot give you any official rewards, this here is a weapon I found in a robber's nest back when I was running errands for the guild as you are now. It is just a silver spear, but the enchantment is among the better ones I've seen on those. This was the last of my orders for you, and you should now ask Lalalvo for more. Take pride in your actions, Ada, as you deserve it.
Yes.
Always happy to chat with people I like. And I like you.
I like what I see.
Thank you, please come again.
Ada. Why you are working for the Guild of Fighters is a mystery to me. You obviously haven't learned how to follow orders, nor do you have any judgment of your own to compensate for this. How sharp do you think you are? Your stupid ploy kept the guard out of the way for a brief moment, but have you thought about the consequences? The slaves nowhere to be found, the key puzzlingly appearing in a mine at the other end of the veil, and you in the middle, reporting your convenient find to the guard. In the end, when the dust has settled, it will have settled on us. And it will be a heavy ash storm of dust, since you really put both of your feet in it this time. As surprising as it may be to a great mind like you, by hiding the key in the Indaranberry egg mine, you have implied 2 uninvolved noble families in stealing the slaves of the Araval and Sanim. The noble families of Akamorum might be in conflict with each other, but there is no surer way to make them work together than having an outlander try and fail to set up one against the other. Work together against us, that is. Our reputation is ruined beyond repair here, likely for decades. Even Amiro, as wrong as he got the mission, told you not to talk to guards. One more thing. We will not maintain an equipment chest for you in this guild house. It was a service we could afford as long as finances went well for the guild, but, thanks to your contribution, I suspect things may well change. I had been intending to give you your next orders, but now I don't think so. Ask Circus Leonos for work to mess up, if you are determined. That's all, Ada. Your talents are noteworthy, but some question your depth of devotion. Perform more duties for the Fighters Guild and you will earn your place.
Where's that slave? Here not long ago.
Fighters Guild, conflict of interest. The Fighters Guild has been contracted to catch 2 slaves who have absconded from the Akamora egg mines. an Argonian named Hilkur, an Acaciate called Ligera. However, Amiro is not a supporter of slavery, and has urged me to give the slaves a chance to escape while maintaining plausible deniability. If I choose to help the slaves rather than catch them, I should not talk to guards or anyone from the houses Sinim and Aravel, who own the mine, about the missing slaves. Lalalvo Irano, the guild master of the Akamora Fighters Guild, has warned me about taking Amiro's instructions to heart. If the slaves manage to escape with my help, the reputation of the Fighters Guild will be damaged. She urged me not to help the slaves. A miner from the Tyranat Peiris egg mine has seen an Argonian and Acaciate running westbound in the direction of the miner's residence hut. I have found the 2 slaves hiding in the miner's residence hut. I have offered Hilkur assistance with his and Ligera's escape. I am either to bring the slaves 2 invisibility potions, quality or higher, or to distract the guard stationed at the crossing by dropping the slave bracer key in the Indaranvari egg mine and tipping him off. The latter, however, might eventually recoil against the guild. I have dropped the slave's key in the Indaranvari egg mine. The false trail has been laid. I should return to Ligera and Hilkur in their hut. With my help, Ligera and Hilkur have fled Akamora. Amiro was delighted to see that I have not let loyalty cloud my judgment. However, Lalalvo was infuriated about the way I handled the job, and told me that the guild has lost the trust of the houses Aravel, Sinim, Indaran, and Veri. She has revoked my access to the equipment chest and told me I'll need to regain her trust by working with Circus Leonos.